Let me ask you something. Last spring, how much did you spend on flowers? Petunias, marigolds, maybe some impatiens for the shady spots? You drove to the garden center, you picked out the prettiest ones, you brought them home, and you spent a whole weekend getting your hands dirty. And for a few weeks, it looked incredible. And then July hit. The heat came in like a wall, and those flowers just gave up on you. Wilted, scorched, gone. And here is the part that really stings. You got nothing from it. You couldn't eat it, it didn't help the birds or the bees, and come next spring, you are going to have to do the whole thing all over again. That right there is what I call the decorative flower trap. Beautiful for 6 weeks, useless for 12 months. But right now, across backyards all across America, something is quietly shifting. Smart gardeners, the ones who have figured out a better system, are making a swap. They are pulling out those decorative annuals and putting in something that works harder, looks just as stunning, and actually feeds them. It is called foodscaping. And today, I am walking you through the 5 herbs that are leading this whole movement. Plants that attract pollinators, survive drought, come back year after year, and put real food on your table. If you're new here, I talk about smarter, more sustainable ways to grow your own food right in your backyard, or even on your balcony. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. All right, 5 herbs. Let's go.
Herb number 1, basil. Okay, I need you to forget everything you think you know about basil for a second. Because when most people hear basil, they picture one thing. A sad little pot on the kitchen windowsill, half dead, leaves turning yellow. Maybe it made it into one batch of pesto before it gave up entirely. That is not the basil I am talking about. I am talking about dark opal basil. This deep, dramatic, almost black-purple plant that looks like it belongs in a luxury garden design magazine. You plant a row of it in your front bed, mixed with some bright green herbs, and I promise you, your neighbors are going to stop and ask what that is. Or Greek basil, which grows in this perfect little globe shape, like a tiny living topiary. Something you would pay $30 for at a nursery if it had a fancier name on the label. But here is the thing about basil that nobody tells you. With a petunia, every time you pick a flower, you are taking something away from the plant. You are weakening it. With basil, the exact opposite is true. The more you harvest it, the more you pinch it back, the bigger, bushier, and more productive it gets. It literally rewards you for using it. That is not how most plants work. That is definitely not how petunias work. Now, basil needs sun, at least 6 hours a day of direct sunlight. It is part of the mint family, and warmth is its love language. Tuck it next to your tomatoes, because tomatoes and basil are best friends, both in the garden bed and on your dinner plate. And here is something that makes basil even more valuable. Those strong aromatic oils that make it smell incredible, mosquitoes hate them, thrips hate them, flies stay away. So you are getting a beautiful ornamental plant and a natural bug shield with 0 chemical spray. When you let basil flower, it becomes a magnet for bees and butterflies, which means the rest of your garden gets healthier too. And one more thing before we move on. Look into Thai basil. Unlike regular sweet basil, Thai basil behaves like a perennial in warmer climates, meaning it comes back on its own every single year. You plant it once, and it just keeps giving. One plant, beautiful all season, feeds you constantly, repels pests naturally. That is a smarter investment than any annual flower you have ever bought. Herb number 2, oregano. All right, number 2. And this one is for a very specific type of gardener. The one who has that one spot in their yard. You know the spot. The dry corner that bakes in the sun all day, where the soil is practically concrete, where you have tried to grow things and they just die. Maybe you have given up on that patch entirely. Plant oregano there. Seriously, plant oregano there tomorrow. Because oregano is a Mediterranean herb. And what does that mean? It means this plant evolved on rocky hillsides with intense sun, poor soil, and very little rain.
The conditions that would destroy your marigolds in a week, to oregano, that is just Tuesday. But here is the part that genuinely fascinates me about this plant. If you water oregano too much, it gets weaker. If you give it really rich, fertile soil, the flavor goes flat. Because it is the stress that concentrates those essential oils, that pungent, almost spicy aroma, that bold flavor. Most plants, you neglect them and they punish you. Oregano, you neglect it and it rewards you with better flavor. It is like the plant equivalent of someone who does their best work under pressure.
In your garden, it spreads into this gorgeous, low, trailing ground cover. Soft texture, small, rounded leaves. And in summer, it produces clusters of tiny white or purple flowers that pollinators absolutely swarm. Use it on slopes where erosion is a problem. Let it spill over the edge of a raised bed like a waterfall. Pack it into rocky or sandy patches where nothing else will grow. It looks completely intentional and totally beautiful. And unlike the flowers you have been replacing it with, oregano is a perennial. You plant it once, it comes back every spring on its own, bigger each year, asking almost nothing from you. It naturally chokes out weeds as it spreads. Its scent drives off cabbage moths and aphids. And when you need it for cooking, you walk outside, grab a handful, and make your own seasoning. Fresh, organic, free, while those $4 jars at the grocery store sit there already half flavorless.
Herb number 3, rosemary. Number 3, and this one is going to change how you think about your whole yard, not just your garden beds. Take a walk through any suburban street in America right now and tell me what you see lining the fronts of houses. Boxwood hedges, ornamental grasses, junipers, plants that are doing exactly one job, existing. And nothing against boxwood, but it is doing absolutely nothing for you. Now imagine pulling out that boxwood hedge and replacing it with rosemary. You get this dense, architectural plant with dark, needle-like leaves that stay green year-round. In late winter, before anything else in your yard has even woken up for the season, rosemary covers itself in these gorgeous little blue-purple flowers, and the bees find it first every time. You can shape it into a formal hedge, let it grow wild and sprawling for that naturalistic look, train it up a trellis, or let it cascade over a retaining wall like a waterfall. It stays lush and green in winter when everything else looks dead. Its deep root system anchors your soil and prevents erosion. And deer and rabbits, who will absolutely devour your expensive ornamentals, hate rosemary's intense piney scent. They will not touch it.
But here is what I really want you to experience. Plant rosemary along your front walkway, next to your driveway, right beside your front door, anywhere you or your guests will brush past it. Because every single time you make contact with rosemary, just a brush of your hand or your jacket, it releases this incredible aroma. Piney, warm, almost like Christmas and an Italian kitchen at the same time. Every time you walk into your own home, you get that little sensory gift. You cannot get that from a burning bush. Rosemary is just in a completely different league. And studies have shown that simply inhaling rosemary's aroma can reduce stress and improve memory and cognitive performance. So your front walkway is not just beautiful, it is actually making you sharper every time you walk past it. And then when you need it for cooking, roasted chicken, focaccia, potatoes, cocktails, you step outside, cut a few sprigs, and you're done. Fresh, free, better than anything from a grocery store. Herb number 4, cilantro. Okay, number 4. And I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now. Cilantro? Doesn't that just bolt the second summer hits? Yes, exactly. And that is the whole point. Let me tell you how cilantro actually works, because most people are only seeing half the story. In early spring, while temperatures are still cool, cilantro grows like crazy. It shoots up fast, producing those bright, flat, delicate green leaves that are essential for salsas, tacos, curries, and guacamole. Fresh cilantro in spring is one of the great joys of having a kitchen garden. Then summer comes, temperatures climb, and yes, cilantro bolts. It sends up a tall stalk and starts flowering. And most people right here make a mistake. They pull it out and call it a failure. Don't, because those flowers are actually beautiful. Delicate white and pale pink clusters like little lace umbrellas stretching toward the sky. And when they open, they pull in lacewings and ladybugs in huge numbers, which are nature's pest control. They devour the insects that damage your other plants.
Then the flowers fade, and something wild happens. The plant starts producing these small, round green seed pods. And here is the secret most gardeners never discover. Those seed pods are edible right off the plant. Bright, citrusy, slightly peppery, like a cross between cilantro and capers. Pop a few while you are working in the garden. It is like a hidden little snack that most people walk right past. But let those pods dry completely on the plant, and you get coriander, the spice, used in curries, spice rubs, pickling brines, sausage making, baking. One of the most widely used spices on the planet, growing in your garden for free. One plant, 3 harvests. Spring leaves, summer flowers that protect your garden, fall spice. And if you let some of those dried seeds fall to the ground, cilantro will often come back on its own next spring without you doing a single thing. Free food showing up automatically. Tell me a petunia can do that. Herb number 5, turmeric. The one that surprised me most when I first started growing it, and honestly, the most underrated plant on this entire list. Turmeric. I know, you are probably picturing that bright yellow powder in a little spice jar, but the plant itself is something else entirely. When you put a turmeric rhizome in the ground in spring, within a few weeks it sends up these massive, bold, tropical-looking leaves, 2 to 3 feet long, glossy, lush, almost waxy. Like something you would pay $20 for at a garden center if it had a fancy tropical name on the label. If you have ever bought elephant ear plants for that dramatic jungle-style look, turmeric gives you the exact same aesthetic. But instead of a purely decorative plant that gives you nothing back, you are growing something with a harvest waiting underground. And it actually flowers too. Long, elegant spikes in white, pink, and green, beautiful and exotic, like something out of a botanical garden. It is remarkably tough as well. No pest issues, no fungal problems. Its natural compounds protected, so it just grows quietly, needing almost nothing from you. It also grows beautifully in containers. If you live somewhere with a real winter, which is most of the US, you grow it in a big pot, bring it inside before the first frost, and harvest in the fall. Problem solved. No tropical climate needed. Then fall arrives. The leaves start dying back, and that is your signal. You dig up the roots and you find these knobby golden rhizomes that, when you slice into them, reveal this almost electric yellow-orange flesh. Fresh turmeric. And if you have only ever tasted the dried powder from a jar, fresh turmeric will genuinely stop you in your tracks. Brighter, more complex, earthy and peppery, with this subtle citrus note underneath. The dried stuff doesn't come close. Use it in smoothies, stir-fries, soups, golden milk lattes, or slice it thin and dry it to make your own powder, more potent than anything in a store. And here is the part that really seals the deal. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, which has been studied in thousands of clinical trials for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. This is not wellness influencer talk. This is published science. And one pro tip you have to remember: always eat turmeric with black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, and it increases your body's absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. Simple, powerful, life-changing once you know it. A plant that looks like a luxury tropical showpiece, flowers that rival anything decorative, and a fall harvest full of one of the most researched natural compounds on Earth. That is turmeric, and it is wild that more people aren't growing it. So let's bring this home. 5 herbs, 5 reasons your garden will never look or work the same way again. Basil, the dramatic, generous plant that rewards every harvest with more growth, looks stunning, repels pests, and feeds you all season long. Oregano, the Mediterranean survivor that thrives on neglect, fills in the problem spots,
chokes out weeds, and comes back every single spring. Rosemary, the bold architectural hedge replacement that perfumes your whole yard and sharpens your mind every time you walk past it. Cilantro, the 3-in-1 powerhouse. Fresh herb in spring, pest protection in summer, free spice in fall, and it often replants itself without you lifting a finger. And turmeric, the show-stopping tropical beauty that gives you a jaw-dropping garden display and one of the most powerful harvests you can grow. The best gardens don't just look good. They work, they give back, they are resilient, and they don't ask you to spend money every spring just to start over. These 5 herbs do all of that, and then some. Now I want to hear from you. Which one is going in your garden first this season? Are you going with basil for that lush, edible flower bed look? Rosemary as your new front yard statement piece? Or jumping straight to turmeric for that tropical drama and fall harvest? Drop it in the comments and tell me where you are gardening. Pacific Northwest, Deep South, Midwest, New England, it all matters, and I read every single one. If this video helped you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people discover a smarter way to garden. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we talk real, practical, no-nonsense growing here. No fluff, just results. I'll see you in the next one. Happy planting!